Hello, everybody. Here we are. I'm Jefferson Graham, and this is the live show. Today we have got very special guests. We've got Howard and Katelyn Newstate, who are the Newstate Nomads. They left their full-time gig a few years ago and have been going off in the RV, making incredible travel videos. They'll be here in 1 second. First, I just got to tell you, today's well, that was a little loud, but today's episode is brought to you by SmugMug, the photo platform that I use to back up all my stuff, to run my website, and to sell prints to my clients. And on that note, here to come Howard and Katelyn. What do you say, guys?
Hello.
Hello, hello.
It's
What
great
an introduction.
It's great to have you here. I didn't ask you this before we went on because it was a big one coming up, but where are you? Tell us where you are today.
Well, we're in a special spot right now because Caitlin's sister actually just had her first baby.
Yeah.
So we're actually visiting family right now, which is an amazing opportunity when you live in an RV that we can just come and visit and we can stay in your driveway. Like you don't need a guest room or anything like that. We have our home on wheels.
Yeah, so we're in Kentucky right now. So it's a little bit chillier. We were in Florida and we left 86-degree weather. It's been quite cold.
Okay, so where in Kentucky?
We're just south of Louisville.
Okay, and how long are you there for?
Been here probably, I don't know, to be determined, maybe another week or so.
Yeah.
We have to be back down in Florida for more work coming up next weekend. So
yeah, we're the brand ambassadors for Winnebago. We travel in a Winnebago Navion. It's a 2019. It's one we purchased, and we are starring in a commercial for Winnebago. And we're gonna be filming that down in Florida. So we're gonna be heading right back down. We were in Florida literally last week, and now we're heading right back down.
Okay, well, let's begin with your story because this is something that I think a lot of people would aspire to. Okay, you both had full-time jobs in television. At a certain point, you said, you know what? I just don't want to do this anymore. I just want to be king of the road and queen of the road. So tell everybody how you got to
that simple.
Tell everybody how you got to. It's been 5 years, 5.5, something, 5, 6 years. Tell everybody how you got there, and did you say, hey, let's just be YouTubers and let's just go do it?
It was definitely not that clear of a path to YouTube, that's for sure. So I was a TV journalist, so I did local news in Richmond, Virginia, and then I transitioned into PR and communications after that, which is usually the natural progression when somebody does choose to leave news. Did that for a while, and then we had moved to Miami, and I had taken a job in Miami doing social media marketing, and it just wasn't the right fit. And we had kind of always talked about, wouldn't it be cool to one day live in an RV? And that just got quickly ramped up to the present. It was like, well, the stars aligned. We don't need to stay in Miami. And so we ended up hitting the road.
Yeah, and I had a good contract job at the time. So this is pre-COVID. I mean, we've been doing this since, before it was cool to do, but I had a contract job. I could work from anywhere. And I was like, hey, well, let's just hit the road and let's do it. The YouTube channel actually didn't start. So we hit the road in August of 2018. And the YouTube channel didn't start until January of 2020. And that was when we were entering Mexico, and we thought this would be a great opportunity for us to launch a YouTube channel because of our backgrounds. I mean, Katelyn, reporter and anchor on TV. I was a cinematographer and producer in LA for a long time. Worked on lots of high-end, movies, TV, commercial, music video, and so it just seemed like
with our powers combined,
we could make a really great channel. And the channel just took off. It was amazing. We had 10,000 subscribers within about 90 days. And today we're now in the top 3% of all travel channels in the world, which is an amazing accomplishment, for just two people. It really is just us. We don't have help. Although sometimes I think we wish we did. But yeah, it really is just us. And we film it. We do it all ourselves, editorial and everything from the RV.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's take any of the national parks. manatees. Okay, you were in Florida swimming with the manatees. So let's walk through the process. You're shooting on a Sony A7IV, I believe.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
I have it for demonstration purposes.
Show and
Thank
tell.
you.
Show and tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
With it with
And
a
we
shot.
did start off. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
With a shotgun mic.
Yeah, it's a Sony. So it's the digital one, which I really like, because it means, there's no cables, anything like that. This is actually like our fourth lens, I think, that we've now moved up to. So this is a 20-70. It's an f4, but I don't mind it being a slower lens because the native ISO of this is so high on the Sony, and it's such a clean image that it's not really a problem. And I like the versatility of having a 20-70 in one lens. We were rocking a 20 mil. It was a 1.8, and it was fine, but I wanted to be able to punch in. I wanted us to be able to have a little more versatility. You can punch in, with the A7IV, and so it can kind of give you that crop still in 4K. So we could get like a 20 mil and like a 35 or so, maybe like almost a 40 with the crop, but I wanted more. So yeah, now we're at a 20-70.
And we
Okay.
didn't start off shooting on that. Like, we started on GoPros and our phones.
Mhm.
And as the channel grew, and it made more sense for us to invest in nicer gear and things like that, because we both knew how to shoot on things that were a little bit more
Sophisticated.
had more capability than a GoPro. But a GoPro, as we know, serves a purpose and is great in certain areas like swimming with manatees.
Okay, so just one camera? One camera.
No, we also have
We have one Sony.
We now have a Pocket 3, so this is our Osmo Pocket 3. I'm a big fan of the Mantis pods. So we actually have one for each one of the cameras. And this Mantis pod, this is the Z, the new one. What I like about this is it actually can expand, and then it's like having a extension arm. So you can actually like position it a little bit better, say, than just a traditional tripod. So the Osmo kind of is becoming like our vlog camera, and also our like slow motion, wider shots, movement shots are really coming from this. And then the Sony is really becoming more of like that, punch in, close up. We do use it for interviews because it's just really convenient to be able to use it all. We travel with 3 dogs, by the way, so if you hear any random noises, but that's what we're.
Those are our day-to-day.
Yeah, day-to-day.
Then depending on the situation, we still use GoPros. We do have a drone that we use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have 2 drones. Yeah, and then we audio-wise, we use the DJI. So we have these are the first gen of the DJI mics, which are great, and they have excellent range.
Okay. Todd wants to know if you use iPhones for any of your footage. I believe you're a Pixel guy, right?
We are.
Yeah.
We're Pixels. Yeah. So we have Pixel 7 Pros. I had the OG iPhone, the original iPhone. And then I tried the G1, the Android G1, and I was sold. I loved. It was clunky. It was funky, but I liked having the flexibility to install the apps that I wanted to use. And like for a long time, that was hard with iPhones. Like you had to jailbreak an iPhone if you really wanted to have like a different browser or things like that. So,
we will use our phones for I'll use it a lot for vertical video just to grab things or quick in the moment photographs, things like that for more, because I think you said something about stories. So for more story, vertical doesn't need to be as professional looking, even though we know phone cameras these days are great quality. So if Howard's grabbing video with the Sony, then I can be snapping photos with the camera.
I do like to point out though, so like with the Pocket 3, and if you haven't played with it, it's great. It has the ability to switch automatically between like vertical and horizontal. So, like you literally just flip it and now I'm vertical and it's vertically stabilized. So, which is really nice. Now it does end up being a 3K image when you switch to vertical, but we're kind of playing with that right now. Like, we're not really good with
short
form
content.
we
We are
struggle
long
with it.
form, yes.
We're long formers, and it's kind of hard for us to do the short form stuff.
Well, that's okay, because as you know, people who make shorts are making pennies per hundreds of thousands of views, right?
Right. It's a very different game.
It is a different game. Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Let's go back to the mechanics of making a video. So you're in Florida, you're swimming with the manatees, one person shooting, the other person is appearing in front of the camera. How do you decide who's shooting what?
So that episode in particular, it does have several different interviews. So most of the time, Howard will shoot the interview and I will be conducting the interview. Just because of our backgrounds, I feel very comfortable asking questions and driving the dialogue and those sort of things. And then I think we try to experience a destination naturally. And so if I happen to have the camera, I'll just stop and ask Howard a question from behind the camera that he can answer on camera. And then if there are certain activities that one of us is more into or more comfortable with, then that person takes the lead. With actually swimming with the manatees, I did that with a friend of mine. And so Howard wasn't even there. And I just shot that all by myself, just with the GoPro. So it just kind of is like dependent on what the activities are and who feels comfortable talking about what. And then the dialogue as far as like experiencing it, sometimes we'll both be on camera with the Osmo as more of like a selfie situation.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing I would say is that before we ever jump into a video, we have researched a lot about the destination, and more than likely we have also reached out to like tourism boards, businesses and locals to try and research something extensively beforehand. So it's not that like we're not leaving anything to chance, but we want to try as best as possible to optimally film a location, to ask the right questions, and to really share the experience of what it is like to go to these places. I mean, we're a destination channel. That's what people generally find us from, is they're planning a trip to place X. They search on YouTube, our video comes up. That's typically like how a lot of people find us. Last year was unique because last year we did 34 national parks. We filmed in 34 national parks in 1 year. The original plan was actually 51 national parks. We were going to do all 51 of the national parks that are in the lower 48 U.S. states. And because of weather and a couple of other complications, we ended up having to scale back. And so we're now kind of doing makeup. Like we're doing a couple more this year and then a couple more next year to eventually get to that full 51.
But even those had to be extremely planned out. Yep. We interview rangers, which you can't just walk up to a ranger and ask them to be on camera. You have to get film permits, and there's a whole other level to all of that. So it does take a lot of pre-planning for the episodes.
Are you paying for film permits?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
In the budget, huh? Okay. Yeah.
We have great sponsors. I mean, I'd like to shout out to Winnebago.
Right. The National Park Series was in partnership with Winnebago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because it would be very expensive out of pocket to pay for all the permits.
The permit fees for all 51 parks, we budgeted it was going to be $10,000 for all the parks.
Yeah. Okay, but that included the right to film in the park.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So again, I want to figure out a week in your life. Okay. So the next place you're going to is Miami, but that's to do your Winnebago commercial, right?
Oh, Florida. Yeah, we're going to Jacksonville, but yeah.
Yeah, we're going to Jacksonville.
Yeah. Okay. The next place you're going to do a video. Where's I don't know if can you announce that or? And if you can't,
we actually okay. I know this is going to sound kind of crazy, but so this year, because of things such as Katelyn's sister had a baby, and we're also trying out multiple new RVs this year. So like this RV, this is the one that we own. Hopefully by the end of this year, we will have decided on which of the new Winnebago views we'll be purchasing, and that'll be our next home on wheels. Because of that, we are also having to like travel and make special arrangements for picking up and dropping off each one of those new RVs as they come out.
So we've changed our schedule a lot this year.
Probably 10 times, maybe 12 times. And so I can tell you that there are things that we are planning on doing this year. Like, for example, we're planning to go to Michigan. We're planning to go to Wisconsin, and do some series up there. Um, Congaree National Park, Smoky Mountains National Park.
Those are probably our next couple. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay,
That would,
so
yeah.
let's say that in 2 weeks
Yes.
you're going to Grand
Yes.
Rapids. Just say it.
okay.
Okay.
Grand Rapids,
Perfect.
Michigan. We're going to make a video there, 25 minutes
Yep.
long.
Yes.
From the RV, are you making calls? Are you looking up things on your computer? Are you setting
Yes.
up interviews?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of
All of
that.
the above. Yeah. So yeah, it just starts with kind of doing like a deep dive on the destination. Sometimes we'll ask our community, like, hey, is anybody from this area and what are some really cool things to do? Because we have found in our travels that locals always know the best places and they
Absolutely.
always know the best stories, and they can connect you with people who maybe the tourism board or an organization doesn't know about. So that's one angle of it.
And will
Well, I
you
was gonna
find
say,
the
and then
locals? Will you find the locals before you go there? Will you just pick up the phone? It's the nomads on the phone here. We're coming to town.
Hi. Yeah, Jingle Jangle Nomad. Well, I'll give you an example. So actually, because you mentioned about swimming with manatees, we had planned to film. It's Crystal River, Florida, is where that is, and we had planned to film there. We were looking for accommodation for the RV. We found out that there was a brand new RV resort that was opening there. I go to their website. It says, "Hey, visit us at the booth at the Florida RV Super Show." I walk over to the booth.
We happen to be there at
We
that
happened to
time.
be there because we were there for Winnebago. And I was like, "Hi." And I literally introduced myself to the owner. The owner was like, "Oh, I know everybody. I was born and raised here. My dad was the sheriff." So like,
So then he was able to
he
connect
connected us with so many people. And it was wonderful because, yes, we did have contact with the tourism board, but we were getting lots of local connections just through this one. I'm not going to say that happens every time, but it happens more frequently than you might imagine, where, yeah, like one person is all you really need. You just need that one person
Right.
who's then going to kind of unlock, in many cases, like, people's homes. I mean, we've been invited to people's homes for a meal. I mean, it's really amazing what that local connection can do.
I was shooting the mural in Carlsbad, California. I think it was on Monday. I'm out there photographing it, and this lady runs out and said, "I painted that mural." And I said, "Oh, great.
Really?
Let's put a microphone on you. Let's hear all about it," right?
That's right. Absolutely.
Right. Sometimes it's just being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, you never know. Okay, so Arthur wants to know, we'll click that on. Could you describe your editing setup considering that you're on the road in cramped spaces? What's it like? Do you have an editing hour, editing time every night from 7 to 10? I mean, how do you do it, Katelyn?
So Katelyn, yeah, you're the editor. So.
Yeah, so I edit. So we use our dinette as like our workstation. That is our designated office area. When we were searching for RVs, it was important for us to find one that had office space so that we didn't have to break down our office every day, and just had ample workspace for both of us. With the actual like editing setup, I'm editing on a laptop. It's the one we're actually going live from right now. And then I have my microphone and a mouse because I know some people can edit on their little keypad. I can't do that. And that's kind of all I have. We do have
we have a NAS. We have a QNAP NAS. It's a
network attached storage.
it's a 937AX, so it's a 9 drive.
In the RV. In the RV.
In the RV. Yeah. Yeah, I could actually pick it up. I mean, it's not turned on, but and it's right now I think it has like 55 terabytes. So that's what we use for like our active storage, and then we're backing everything up to the cloud as well.
And so I have that sitting on the seat right next to me. So if I need to pull old footage or need to import, like I'm starting on the next project that has been stored there, then I can transfer all of that footage over pretty easily. And then as far as like an editing schedule, so Howard and I also still have full-time marketing jobs that we do. This year, I'm kind of transitioning more to just running Newstate Nomads, and so editing has taken more priority, and I do have more time to do it now. But editing in and of itself is a full-time job. I will spend sometimes 8 hours a day just sitting there. I have to be in the creative mindset to do it and to want to hunker down. That's the way that I do my work the best, is if I know that I have a dedicated chunk of time to be able to sit there and like just kind of knock it out. So that's my process.
Do you want to talk about the software? Because we were on so to be clear, we edit on PC. Again, I'm not anti-Apple. I want to be really clear. I had an Apple, I had a MacBook Pro for like 15 years. But we found for the price point, it's easier and more affordable for us to go out and get gaming laptops. So they're just really high powered because, gaming PCs tend to have really powerful GPUs. So, so on a PC, we were using Adobe Premiere and it was fine. And then I was like, I really want to try out DaVinci because I felt like DaVinci Resolve would speed up our process, and it really has significantly.
As much as I was, Premiere Pro had certain issues. It is notorious for crashing, and that slows down your process. I didn't want to have to learn a new editing software, and so I was very hesitant and kept pushing back when Howard would bring up DaVinci. And then I was like, fine, I've had one too many, frustrations. Let me just try it. And it has been game changing, life changing. Like, I'm not being dramatic. It is such a time saver for me now to have a program that I truly enjoy working from. It's great. And it has a lot of great functionality.
The transcribing, I mean, like doing interviews, that's
since we do a lot of interviews, I can just click a button and in about 45 seconds it transcribes the whole thing, so that I'm not actively having to go through and listen to the entire 30-minute conversation. I remember what the key points were. I can go and I can find them and I can cut them from that transcript, which is just amazing.
Okay.
Among many other, sound sweetening. Like I don't even have to. So Katelyn does the editorial. I tend to do sound, color, and then if it's like advanced or I would call it animation. If there's any animation required, I do the animation as well. And
so I can do the rough cut. I could do the rough cut and then hand it to Howard, add the graphics, add the music, play with the sound. Thank you very much. I like that arrangement. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. Well, but it also, I want us to be able to divide the work. I don't want it to feel like it's like, okay, Katelyn, like, come on, like, finish the video. And the sound, particularly with DaVinci, I've been able to set up presets where like I don't have to even duck the music for the VO or for dialogue. I have that all automatically set. I have all the sweetening and everything all set. And so it's really pretty much like I'm just like correcting any minor issues.
Like tweaking, fine tuning.
Yeah, like if there's a significant amount of background noise or something like that on one specific clip, I might need to, resolve that issue, but like that's about it. And then color has been fantastic. And we shoot with so many different cameras, that really has become a major element for us, was trying to figure out how to match cameras. And so I now use the I can't remember it now. I think it's Cinematch. I think it's the plugin that gives us a baseline. So I set all of the cameras from a color standpoint to the Sony, and then I color grade from Sony for all the cameras. That's what I've been doing for that.
Okay, and they do debut new episodes Sunday at 3, right?
Yeah. Yep.
How did you?
Sunday. We're taking
no, Easter Sunday. Come on.
But
how did you come?
Yes.
How did you come up with Sunday at 3?
Well, how did you come up with Wednesday at 3?
Thursday.
Or Thursday at 3.
Right.
It was, initially, when we first launched our YouTube channel and we were in Mexico, it was Mexico Monday. And so we were doing Mondays at 6 p.m. because the alliteration. Who doesn't love a good, alliteration? And then we left Mexico and we're like, okay, well, should we just try a different day? I don't know.
Yeah, so we went to Sundays. We were at Sundays at 6 because we noticed that a lot of our viewers, because we have a very loyal, consistent community that watches all of our episodes, and they tend to watch in the evenings. Like it's the majority, over 60% of our audience, watch from their TV. We don't get nearly as many people like watching on their phones.
Great.
And so it's like primetime TV for them, and so they're watching and enjoying it on a really big TV. And so, yeah, it's kind of like that PM activity. So I don't remember exactly when, but I was like, I think we should try moving it up a couple of hours to see if we can catch more people, you know, prior to kind of prime time. And that was 3 o'clock, and it's pretty well stuck. Like now, we release, generally speaking, at 3 o'clock. Um, we try not to be like up right up against the deadline. That's for sure. We try and release our videos. We have a private membership community, kind of like a Patreon, but it's on our own website, and we release those videos typically about the day before. So we have almost a full 24 hours before the release.
And both of you, when do you finish the video? So if you're working on a video that's going to premiere Sunday, is it done by Friday?
We try.
We try. We try.
Sometimes, more recently, we've actually been pretty ahead of the curve, which has helped. But there have also been times where it's just not done. And for us too, you know, it's always, we want to deliver the best video at the highest quality, and we want to feel good about what we're putting out there. And so if it's not ready, it's just not ready.
Yeah, and that's okay. We've even, you know, we've pushed off to Mondays, or we've even in some cases skipped an entire week. And
because I just rather it be really good and us feel proud about what we're delivering than try to rush it.
Yeah.
From Todd, what destinations have you been to that you want to go back to, and what destination have you been to that is one and done, or in other words, you hated it, never want to see it again?
Well,
they're always tough questions.
Well, also, I feel like it's going to get us in trouble with somebody. Somebody's not going to be happy with our answer.
What do you love?
Well,
what do you love?
We've been to Alaska twice. And that is a absolute bucket list destination, particularly for RVers. It is that once in a lifetime trip, and we've done it twice. I mean, I think that really speaks to it, because, you know, the distance from Seattle, Washington to Anchorage, Alaska is further than New York to Los Angeles. So, you know, it is very far. It is you go to Anchorage because you want to go to Anchorage. You don't just accidentally end up somehow getting to Alaska. And that's a breathtaking trip, I would say.
I think another place that we were just talking about this the other day, because we started our YouTube channel in Mexico, and we had grand plans to travel throughout mainland Mexico a lot more extensively than we were able to because
COVID.
Right, like the world shut down while we were down there. That's a place I definitely would love to go back and explore more. We had truly wonderful experiences. The people were great. The food is incredible. The culture, it's just, all of it is beautiful. And I would love to go back and explore more there. As far as the other part of that question, one and done, that's so hard.
You know, I think there are some national parks that we went to last year that we have now done multiple times, and I don't know if necessarily we're going to like plan to do a return just because we've been there so many times.
I'll say it. White Sands National Park is one of them.
White Sands.
It's a great park. But we did it twice within a pretty close window.
A year-ish time.
It's beautiful, but I think, you know, once you've experienced it, once you've seen it at sunset, which is just breathtaking, like everybody should do it. But for us, we've done it twice, and I'm good. Like, I've checked it off. I feel good about it.
I would say Gateway Arch is another one. You know, it's like
St. Louis?
It's a 20-acre national park. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful view. But it's kind of like, well, you did it. You know, like you did it. You went to the museum. You have the photos to prove it. And, you know, St. Louis, I want to explore more, but I don't know if I would necessarily go back to Gateway Arch.
I believe you went to Nova Scotia. So there I went last year, and I want to go again this year because I loved it so much.
Oh,
yes. And that was actually, we've done that twice. That was another place we've returned to. The first time we went up, that was one of the first destinations in our RV, but we did not have our YouTube channel then. So we knew we wanted to go back, experience it, make videos, share it with people. There's so much to see and do there. So beautiful.
Yeah, that's actually one of our most successful series is the Canadian Maritimes. Yeah.
I only got half of it, so there was a lot we didn't get to see, so that's why I want to go back. From Aiden wants to know, how much does it cost to fill up your gas tank, and how far can you drive?
Okay, we get about 300-ish miles per tank. Our tank, so we're on a diesel. It's a Mercedes Sprinter chassis, so it's a little bit misleading because we have a small tank. Our tank is only 26 gallons.
And we tow a vehicle behind our
And we tow a
RV.
vehicle. So we get mileage wise, we get about 14 miles per gallon, which is very good for an RV. A lot of RVs get 6 to 8. And so when we're towing, we get about 14 miles per gallon. When we're not towing, it's around 16 to 18 miles per gallon. A fill up,
$100, $100.
$100. Yeah, because
Round,
you know, like it's typically, yeah, we usually fill about 20 gallons. And let's call it like, yeah, it's about $100. I'd say
It's
about
more
$100.
expensive the further west you go.
Oh, for
right?
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
and you go
California
300 miles. And you go 300 miles.
On a tank.
on a tank, 350, I mean, is really like the true capacity. But you know, particularly like if you're doing a trip up to Alaska, whenever you're at a half a tank, you should be looking for fuel because sometimes the gas stations are separated by 100 miles. So if you miss that gas station, you need to turn around and head back,
Which we have done.
which we did one time, only once. I will admit that. Yes, that happened.
Okay. Do they have Costco where you are? Because Costco's got great gas prices.
But they all don't have diesel,
That's
which
right.
is
Oh.
a challenge. So the Costco's in Florida don't have diesel.
They do not.
But we do love our Costco membership.
Oh yeah.
When we do find a Costco that has diesel, it's a hidden gem.
Now,
Well, and the Costco credit card, you know, it's 4% back on gas. So we use that.
Pretty good. I paid $4.70 yesterday. Okay, and that was the way cheapest in town by 60 cents. Yep. By 60 cents. Okay.
Wow.
Joseph wants to know the magnet board from the Winnebago. I'm
Yes,
NPF.
the Winnebago NPF.
Yeah, what's that? What is it? Tell everybody about it.
So the Winnebago NPF is the special RV we were traveling in last year for the beginning of our tour. So it's the Winnebago National Park Foundation Limited Edition. And inside of that, so that is a special RV that is themed to the national parks. And that magnet board,
that was a gift from Winnebago.
That comes in those RVs. And so when we finished the tour in that RV, they gave us this so we could put it in our RV and have all of our magnets. So yes, very good eye.
Yes, okay. We collect magnets and stickers because remember we live in an RV. You can't collect big stuff. So it's like, what's something small that we could collect from every one of the parks and not like a shot glass because that's glass and it'll break. So yeah, it's magnets and stickers for us.
Yes, and passport stamps, right? When you go to a national park. Tell us about the Winnebago commercial. You guys are going to be starring in a TV commercial?
We are. So we were, and actually it's the video we released
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Week and a half ago, yeah.
Yes. Was the tour video of this new model. So as I said, we're testing out a whole bunch of different new RVs this year. We're very fortunate and thankful to Winnebago. I mean, not many people get this kind of opportunity to literally like do house hunters, but for RVing. And so the first one was the 24T, the Winnebago View 24T. And so we are filming the commercial for the brand new Winnebago View 24T, which is a amazing RV. And I think Winnebago, and we agree, I think it's going to be a very successful RV for them.
So this will be on television. This will be on TV.
I believe so. I believe it's going to be on TV, digital for sure. I know it's going to be digital ads for sure.
And then there'll be still photos too that they use. Yeah, we've been told there's no speaking line, so it's just pretty faces. And the dogs, they want the dogs as well. So
yeah.
Okay, a few more questions for you. You've been doing this for 5 years. As you look out the next 5, 10, 15, are you dreaming of going into a physical home? Or are you happy this way?
I think we're happy this way. Yeah. I think, just like if you live in a house, like there's days that are going to be challenging, no matter what. It's not always rainbows and sunshine, and there's logistics that you have to figure out that you don't have, the same kind of problems in a house. But I think for us, like, travel has always been in our blood, and it's something that we bonded over when we met, and something that I think will always be a part of our lives. And for this foreseeable future, I don't see us having a sticks and bricks, definitely not permanently.
I think something of note is this year, 2024, we started introducing group trips where we're hosting trips all around the world, so that way people can travel with us. And I think that that is a little bit of an opportunity as well to like do some travel, not in the RV, to kind of, I don't want to say like to keep it fresh, but like to kind of change it up a little bit, you know, for us. So we're doing 2 trips this year. The first one in September is to Iceland. We are not shipping the RV over to Iceland. We are we're flying over. And then in December, we're doing a trip. It's a Christmas markets trip for Germany and Austria. And so I think that that is an opportunity for us to kind of balance it out maybe a little bit, like long term. Maybe we do a couple of those a year, and that turns into kind of an opportunity for us to not be full time necessarily in the RV. But I don't see a point, at least in the near future, where we're going to settle down. We get asked that all the time.
Yeah,
like, are you going to settle down? It's like, we are settled down. Like,
well, are there days where the keys do not get turned on? You just stay in one place?
oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, we typically move about every 5 to 7 days. That's kind of our norm. We rarely do back-to-back driving days. If we're getting to a destination, absolutely, you know, just to get there. But once we're at that destination, we're typically there at least 5 days.
Okay. Roy could not be here because he's teaching trumpet to a bunch of college students. But he submitted a question. You're driving down the country road, and a big deer comes in front of the RV. How are you going to get a shot without the deer running away?
That's not where I thought the question was going. I thought it was like, how do you avoid hitting the deer? And I'm like, well, I really hope that deer keeps running. And like, you know, well, we do keep the cameras close to the seats.
Yeah. And I have gotten shots of deer actually here in Kentucky when we came to see my sister before. Sometimes it's just luck. Sometimes it's like you see it and you turn the camera on as quick as you can and just point and focus and start rolling and see what you can get. That's a tough one because you're at the mercy of the deer a little bit.
You are. We used to run continuously a dash camera because the concern was just that, like, oh my gosh, like we don't want to miss like something happening that we want to capture. And we stopped a couple of years ago. I don't remember why. But I think it works out okay. And like we've definitely caught a lot of amazing things like as we've been driving, for sure.
And too, like
and I don't photograph while driving. I just want to be completely clear on that.
I'm filming, yes.
Yeah, Katelyn will be filming. Yeah.
While he's driving. Going up to Alaska, it is so incredibly remote. So he was just talking about country roads, where if you were to come upon, let's say, a herd of bison, you can literally just stop because there are no other cars on the road. You probably won't see anybody for hours, and you can just stop and photograph them. You know, so if it's a safe way to do it, that's always an option. Stay in your car.
Always stay in your car.
When we were in Yellowstone. Yeah.
But the you're driving.
If you don't follow this, sorry.
You're driving the RV down the road, and you get that shot, that great shot out the window. Are you just doing it through the window? Do you have the GoPro outside?
Most of it depends on the weather. It depends on how fast we're going, but yeah, and how clear the windshield is. I've done both. I'll either just shoot directly through the windshield if it's clear enough, and then I've also, you know, hung out the window, put the camera out the window. Our Sony I use out the window sometimes. So.
We have friends. We have friends who also are RVer, like YouTubers, and they actually mount permanently like GoPro mounts, so that way they can stick their GoPro like on the outside of their RV, and then they'll use like the remote control or their app on their phone, and they'll start and stop it. And that's actually a pretty good idea. I don't know, maybe we'll do that someday.
I put my GoPro on the windshield wiper. Okay.
Oh.
And that works really well. Really well.
Yes.
With the JAWS attachment. You just
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I've driven my
remote start.
No. I just press record and then
just let it go.
Yeah. But I just want the basic we're driving down the road shot, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I have held the Insta360 on the invisible selfie stick out the window while I'm driving. I've done that too. Yeah. And you could do a really good, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I could do a really good iPhone shot, driving shot, if somebody else is driving. And I could stick out the window. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I will say that because as a reminder, if you do have your Part 107 license, you are not to operate a drone from a moving vehicle. But if you are stationary or outside of the RV, filming RVs with or vehicles with a drone is absolute butter. It's fantastic, and like you get great shots. And we'll sometimes do following shots and leading shots.
Oh
And
yeah, in Nova Scotia actually.
Nova
We did
Scotia.
that. So Howard was set up outside and I would drive the RV across this bridge and then I had him on speakerphone. He's like, "Okay, come on." And so then I would drive it across, he would get the shot of it. We did that probably half a dozen times.
Yeah.
Till we got the best
Yeah.
one.
And we
So.
like bridges, it's kind of funny, but like we do that a lot. I don't know why. I mean, I think it's the water and yeah, it's just beautiful. So yeah, we do a lot of bridge drone shots.
Okay, so the drone is over the bridge following you, or it's on the side so they could see the bridge going by, the RV going by?
Both. Like, yeah, like sometimes like there's this really beautiful shot that we did years ago in Washington State where it was a not a suspension bridge, but like an arched smaller bridge. And I had the drone starting very low. And as the RV was like driving across, the drone was coming up and it just revealed the space. It was just beautiful. So yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just about trying to find the shot, trying to find the right angle.
Iconic Newstate Nomad shot. Here we are, right? Here we are. Okay. You can't see it because I'm in my little window, but here we are.
Right.
Okay. So you just basically sticking the Sony on a tripod, setting the timer, and going and posing, right?
Well, we have the remotes and everything. So like we have a little Bluetooth remote. This one, little PGY tech. So we use that one. And then we have a number of different tripods. You know, we use the Peak Design a lot. We have the Peak Design travel tripod. And then we have like our Manta pods and all of that. And sometimes the hardest part is actually just trying to get the camera somewhere, you know, because like you're right. Like I don't know. It has become our like signature shot. It is kind of funny, but finding a place to put the camera is probably the hardest thing with those for sure. I have experimented with doing it from the drone. I just don't feel like I get the quality yet that I'm really looking for.
For a thumbnail.
And I want for a thumbnail. I want the compression. You know, like I want the long lens feel. And you know, even with the DJI with the pros, what is it, the Mavic 2 Pro, it's still like it just doesn't have the amount of compression that I'm really looking for the shots. So we're still using the Sony for those.
Okay. I'll close it off with I know this is a question you've gotten a lot. I'm not going to ask you the favorite place you've ever been, but I want to quit my job and I want to go off in an RV and I want to be a YouTube star with my wife and husband or whatever. What have you learned? And if you're doing it differently today, what words of advice do you have for that person who wants to do what you do?
Well, first of all, I think you should only do something if you really enjoy it. I mean that sincerely. I think a lot of people start YouTube channels putting on airs almost like they have a character and or they're doing a topic that they don't truly enjoy. So if you really are going to start a YouTube channel, I mean, that is my honest to God recommendation is make sure it's on a topic that you really love and make sure, if at all possible, that you are yourself. Because that's genuine, you know, YouTube is about connection and about people. And I feel like that YouTube it's so much about the connection. So be yourself.
And also research and find different jobs that you can do from the road to be able to support your travels, because you will not be able to support yourself just from YouTube.
No.
It is not a financial it's just not the way to solely support yourself. So you need to have, you know, other streams of revenue and other streams of income. You know, maybe this is your side hustle while you're doing your day job from the road, things like that.
Yeah. And, you know, and I would say, I mean, because even right now, I mean, we still have our day jobs. You know, this is not our full-time job. Our full-time life is not YouTube. You know, it'd be great. I would love that.
And I think too, something that we consistently to this day are still working on is work-life balance. When you work with your partner and live with your partner in 200 square feet and you have access to your office, there is the possibility to just keep working all the time. And so being able to take a step back and have designated work hours and just, better work-life balance, it can be challenging.
Okay. What are your day jobs? What are you guys doing?
Marketing. So we do marketing and communications. It can be anything from like a marketing plan to advertising strategy, mostly small to medium businesses across the country. It's interesting because we've been doing that. Like Katelyn was literally like moonlighting that even when she had started the job down in Miami, and it's something that you truly can do from anywhere. You just need to be able to have good internet connection. As long as we have good, we travel with Starlink. We have 5 different cell carriers for data just to make sure that we have coverage almost anywhere on the planet. And that's the key for us to be able to work, is just having internet access.
And these companies find you? Do they find you on YouTube, or do they know you from the previous lives?
And it's also word of mouth. Referrals are pretty much the way that we get most of our business. I'm sure that we could like scale that business, I guess, if we like signed on to these services and things. I'm not saying like Fiverr, but there are like other platforms that are just for like marketing assistance. And we could potentially scale it, but we really enjoy it's good. It's good to actually have that balance. I mean, and we're still having fun right now with YouTube, and I want to keep it that way.
Yeah. We're going to close it with a question from James. How do we write you a letter? How do you get your mail? How do I send you a check? How do I send you a check?
So funny. That's one of the number one questions we get. So, but there are services that help other nomads like us. And so we have a mail service. On paper, we are domiciled in Florida. We live in a little mailbox in Florida. So there is a service that will collect our mail for us, and then they'll scan it in for us. They will deposit checks on our behalf. You pay, I think, a flat rate per year.
You pay a flat rate per year, and then like if you need a piece of mail like forwarded to you, you can request that, and then they'll package it back up, or package up like 20 pieces of mail and then send it to wherever you are. Yeah, and they cater only to RVers. A lot of people who travel the world on boats. There's a lot of nautical customers as well.
Nautical nomads.
Nautical nomads, yeah.
Okay. Well, I promised you the interview would be 30 minutes. We're at 47. I could keep on going for a long time because it's been great talking to you guys. And as you know, I've been big fans of your work for quite some time. Love what you do. And hope you come up to California one day, or the West, and I can meet you in person.
That would be wonderful.
We would love that. We would love that.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us.
At Newstate Nomads. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Website is newstatenomads.com.
Yeah, and it really is our last name. It's not just like a
right.
A catchy travel name. My last name is Newstate, just like it is spelled. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks again for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye bye.